Does misleading people lower your vibration? Ooh, let's talk about it. So here's how things work in the frequency world, how I perceive things, for example. This is based on perception, perceptive ability. This is the dimensions, basically how we see things, how we see our reality being created. Seemingly innocent question. This can get taken two ways, at face value or what's behind it, which is you are misleading people. So not to read you, Shane, but a general answer to this question is it has very little to do with anybody misleading anybody. It has everything to do with the programs and the patterns that are running. Programs want to fulfill themselves. That's it. When someone feels misled, it's an emotional charge. Typically there is a victim pattern running in here, followed by an abuse or addiction pattern, typically from family lineage or religion. If you take the emotion out of it and you just look at the ones and zeros, the person who is technically doing the misleading doesn't really think they're misleading anybody. Whoever is doing the leading is running a pattern that is complementary to the frequency that the followers have. This is an important distinction to get across, is it's not personal. It's just programs fulfilling themselves. Think of how you circle a square, right? The Vitruvian Man, Da Vinci. Two shapes that don't fit, but they're complementary and they create a whole. That's essentially what these things are. Two frequencies that are on opposite sides of each other coming together to create an experience for you to become aware. So does misleading people lower your vibration, yes or no? I'm going to say yes and no. The vibratory expression is predicated on the density that you are carrying in your being. If you have a lot of density and a lot of patterns, you're going to vibrate lower. If you think about just frequency perspective, frequencies that vibrate lower create matter, frequencies that vibrate higher create light. The higher you vibrate, the more light you can bring in, the more of your innate intelligence that you can bring in. So if the person who is doing the misleading has this pattern that's running, they could present as a very high vibrating person because maybe they have a lot less of other bullshit they're carrying. Therefore, their frequency can be higher. And I will leave you with this. Spiritual integrity is a thing. Regardless of what is producing a high or low vibe, it comes down to the intention and integrity in your internal compass and constitution as to why you're doing things. The thing to get even more curious about is what emotion is accommodating the program that's running in the background. Think of them like apps. You're running the latest rendition of your family lineage, software iOS, 9.0. So if you feel short from your potential, get very curious about your patterns. I hope I answered your question, Jane.